I'm Brandon Ebron, and today on Sports and Quotes, we go over the college football game of the week, Dallas gets embarrassed in Jerry's world, and later, the NBA season returns. Let's get into it. The game of the week was between Auburn and Florida. Both teams coming in at 5-0, and this game was pretty much back and forth as far as the turnovers go. Auburn's quarterback Bo Nix had 3 interceptions, and even though Florida had the lead majority of the game, they couldn't capitalize like they wanted to because their quarterback, Kyle Trask, had 3 fumbles of his own. Florida's defense looks pretty stout, but they need to take better care of the ball on the offensive side. Florida wins 24-13. And Florida has a tough test coming up this week against LSU, which is undefeated also. After Auburn's loss, they dropped down to number 12 in the rankings. Both Alabama and Clemson had a bye last week, but Clemson's close win over North Carolina dropped them down to number 2 and put Alabama into number 1 in the rankings. Ohio State comes in at number 3, Georgia number 4, number 5 LSU, and Oklahoma comes in at number 6. With all those teams being undefeated, the playoff push will be a tight one. The Carolina Panthers improved to 3-0 without Cam Newton. And it may be time to move on from Cam Newton. Even though he still has a couple years left on his contract, the offensive coordinator caters to Kyle Allen's style of play. And he's just making it look easy. Whether he's feeding the ball to Christian McCaffrey or just making safe passes, he doesn't force the ball like Cam Newton does. And in those 3 wins on the season, Kyle Allen has 5 touchdown passes with no interceptions. Their next 3 games are against Tampa Bay, the 49ers, who's hot right now, and the Tennessee Titans. And I can see them winning 2 of 3 of those games, losing against the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers does it again and embarrassed the Cowboys. The Packers got a lot of help on the defensive end of the ball. Dak Prescott threw 3 interceptions. One wasn't his fault. Amari Cooper should have caught that pass. One was a misunderstanding, and the other one was just a forced pass. Zeke Elliott, he really wasn't even a factor. And it seems like ever since that playoff game, Dallas just can't seem to get over the hump against the Packers. And by the way, that was a catch. And that fluke of a field goal kick from Mason Crosby. Dak Prescott needs to get it together if he wants to get paid in the offseason. He needs to improve his play and take care of the ball better than what he's doing. And Dallas lose the last 2 games, being to the Saints and to the Packers. They was down halftime, and then in the second half, Dak started to improve his play. After the game, the owner, Jerry Jones, said there's no threat to head coach Jason Garrett's job. But he may need to follow suit like the Redskins and get rid of the coach before things get worse in Dallas. In other NFL news, the Redskins fired Coach Jay Gruden. The Falcons, they just can't seem to get it together. And the Saints and Teddy Bridgewater, they just keep winning. The 49ers, that's my sleeper team. They look good on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. And they just put it on the Browns on Monday Night Football game. Even though it is the Browns, but hey, everybody's professionals. And the 49ers improved to 4-0 for the first time since 1990. And who would have thought? The Colts defense held the Chiefs, the team with that scores the highest points in the NFL, the Chiefs, to only 13 points. The NBA season is underway. Right now, the preseason is in, and the regular season kicks off Tuesday, October 22nd. Everybody's talking about the Clippers and the Lakers, the Clippers and the Lakers. I hope nobody's forgot about Golden State. They still will be one of the top 5 teams in the West. In the East, the top 2 teams I think will be the Sixers and the Bucks. After the Raptors won the championship last year and they made some roster changes, I still think they will be a playoff team this year. Harden and Westbrook, how would they mesh together? They may do some incredible things during the season, but once again, when it comes playoff time and it matters most, what will they do? Still, nobody has considered Carmelo Anthony to join their roster. And that's all I have today for sports. Today's quote is, "Don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life."